Hello, everyone, and welcome to Back to Light. This is a show where we talk about how future proofs past, and we help you with different techniques and tools to help you get back to your sovereignty, your truth, your health, and your wealth.
Back what the enemy stole. Trump won and you know it.
Natasha Owens, Nick Natoli, Trump won.
Trump won and you know it. Trump won and you know it. America has voted. It's true. Trump won and you know it.
Yeah, we all know Trump won, baby, and we know Kamala crazy. Everybody knows that I'm a patriot like my name was Brady. Red hat, baby, it's a red wave. Democrats want Trump off stage, but we know that they can't aim, and he won in every state. Trump won, you know we know. Too big to rig this vote. Someone wake up Sleepy Joe, cause
Trump won and you know it. Trump won and you know it. America has voted. 'Cause it's true. Trump won and you know it.
you know you can't stop Trump. He's got a swamp to drain, so go ahead and grab your ticket. Let's ride that Trump train. He won in 2020, and he just did it again. Go and throw your hands up. Let's celebrate this win. It's time to get it started. Come on now, everybody. Everyone's invited to this We the People party.
And you know it. Trump won and you know it.
Yeah, yeah.
America has voted. 'Cause it's true. Trump won and you know it.
Woo!
I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows Trump won. I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows Trump won.
Everybody knows.
I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows Trump won.
Yo, 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 yo.
Trump won and you know
You
it.
know it, you know it.
Trump won and you know it. If there's a lie, they're gonna do it. It's true. Trump won and you know it.
Let's go, let's go.
I know it, you know it, we know it,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
know it.
yeah.
Everybody knows
Trump won.
I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows
Trump won.
I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows
Trump won.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Back to Light. We have Jim O'Connor again today. Hello, Jim. Welcome.
Oh, it's good to see you again, Kat. How are you?
Good to see you. Fantastic. Had a wonderful day yesterday. Hung out with Mom. We went to the ocean. It was really cool. We had a good day. I know. We were standing in it. It's a couple of times and almost took us down.
Hmm.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about the IRS and the Federal Reserve. And a lot of people don't even know what both of those are. And just because something says federal doesn't mean it's actually federal. They're as federal as Federal Express, right?
Right.
And they don't have any reserves. So you want to talk about that, Jim?
Oh, I'd love to talk about that. The Federal Reserve Bank is a private bank with 12 big bank offices, and they basically control the monetary system to their benefit, not necessarily the benefit of the American people. And they kind of hold a sword over the President of the United States when it comes to tax policy and monetary policy, because they are the ones that tell commercial banks what they're allowed to do and not allowed to do. And it seems to me that that's the kind of power that should be reserved for Congress and the president, not a private corporation. And the debt we owe is the debt to the Federal Reserve.
Right.
And the way the system works is the IRS, which is also a privately owned company, with the full power of law because of the illegally passed 16th Amendment, because it wasn't approved by 3/4 of the right number of state legislatures. That was just approved by
In the
some
dark of the
members
night.
some members of Congress, not even a full House or Senate, and signed by President Wilson, who they must have had the goods on.
Yeah.
And so when we owe the federal deficit is owed ultimately to the Federal Reserve Bank, which is the only bank in America that can't be audited. And so they get our tax dollars.
That's why we titled it, Where Does Our Money Go?
Yeah, they get our tax dollars, and they send our tax dollars to a couple of places offshore, like the British Crown and the Vatican. And then they send it back, and the Federal Reserve loans it to us at a high interest, and that's the interest we owe for the federal deficit. Now, I understand I just gave you basically a broad brush. It's a little more complicated than that because there's also a series of payoffs that go in between each stop, and some payoffs back to some of the people in Congress and the Senate and some former presidents so they keep their mouths shut. And when President John F. Kennedy decided to mint silver certificates, which was constitutional, he lasted about 6 more months before they killed him. And if you really think that Lee Harvey Oswald, who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a piece of shit rifle from 10 feet away, blew the president's brains out from behind, and his brains went out behind. I have a bridge in Brooklyn I have for sale, and you can buy it from me. Because if you believe what you saw from the Zerguder film being true, you're dumb enough to buy the Brooklyn Bridge from me.
Well, we have to pause for a second because there was so much propaganda around that, and times are different now, right? We're in the information war, and information, if you're ignorant nowadays, it's because you choose to be, right? But back then, we trusted as the people. We trusted people that were talking behind a microphone. We trusted our doctors. We trusted all of these people, right? So I can see where they could be misled, but that would never fly right now. Like that could never happen again.
In a way, it didn't fly then.
Right. But then they were labeled.
So those of us that weren't asleep were called conspiracy theorists.
I wear that badge proud.
Yeah.
I just,
No.
like Sarge says, I like to call us pattern recognition specialists,
Yes.
We see things. We pay attention.
And I have a name for those that spread the real propaganda.
Mm.
The word is liars.
With Kennedy being shot, that's when everything kind of got taken over, and we kind of lost our country, right? Lost our sovereignty, lost our money, lost our freedoms.
And to make sure that we who are conspiracy theorists are basically considered lunatic fringe.
That's right. It was always that you always saw the movies, right? And they always made it seem like the crazy uncle, right? That's coming on Thanksgiving. But maybe people should have listened to that person,
There's a lot of money in religion and there's a lot of money in politics. And they're both filthy.
Yeah.
Now, faith, there's not a lot of money in faith, but there's a lot of love, joy, and salvation in faith. And imagine if you were the honest politician, how much hell you would suffer around all the dirty bastards that were taking bribes and doing terrible things to the American people, but laughing all the way to the bank. The problem with laughing all the way to the bank is in hell. And when you go to make your final deposit, that's where you're going to be.
Yeah. It's just been one hell of a ride, and it's not been a good one.
Yeah. There's a guy named Ken Cromar who proved that the IRS did not have the right to take any tax money.
Mhm.
He owned his own home outright. He proved in court that there was no law requiring him to pay taxes.
Those are property taxes.
Any taxes at all.
Mhm.
He got thrown in jail, basically in solitary. He's not allowed to do anything, or because even though there's no law, the IRS seized his home, seized his property, which they did illegally.
Mhm.
And Ken doesn't deserve anything but a great civics medal for understanding that none of us have to pay federal tax.
Yeah.
Now, I pay my federal taxes because I'm forced to.
Well, you were a federal employee, right?
Well, I'm retired Army
Yeah.
and I get Social Security, but they make me pay tax on it. And because of Obamacare, which was really for child trafficking,
Yeah.
I can't use my TRICARE for life, which I earned by being a soldier for 20 years and 4 at the academy. I have to pay into Medicare. And, and Medicare is a ripoff.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't go to the people that paid into the system. It goes into all sorts of illegals and all sorts of things that are against our freedom.
We learned that from Doge, right? We learned where
Yeah,
the money's
so-
actually going.
Yeah, so we're paying probably 2 to 3 times more than we need to pay for the coverage that we get.
Yeah.
And, but that's okay because these people who think they're better than everyone else have their agenda, and their agenda is a satanic agenda. But you won't hear any of this kind of talk in any of the churches you go to because they're part of the system.
Yeah. They're part of the problem.
Yeah, and as long as they're going to cover it up and not tell the people the truth, the people aren't going to know what to do. But, if you do the extra work like Kat and I do, you can find out what the truth is. But you have to understand that once you know the truth,
You can't go back.
well, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And
Yeah.
the other part is once you see it and you understand it, your social circle changes drastically because the people who you thought were really your friends, you find out are just brain numb robots, and they turn on you like you're trying to get them to worship the devil when they're stuck in the devil's system.
Yeah. Going back to the taxes, that was created to quote unquote help pay for the war. It was voluntary, and no one ever told the people, you can stop now.
But a lot of guys came back maimed or dead. A lot of our tax money went to fight against the United States Army. And the few lieutenants who violated these RO rules of engagement because they loved their country and their men, some of them got thrown in prison for violating a presidential order. Now, of course, the press could report this, and this would have stopped, and lots of people wouldn't have got hurt. We wouldn't have wasted all those years, and we wouldn't have fed our enemies. Like feeding Antifa now. They're rioting against us with our own tax money, paying them.
Paying them.
What the hell? And this is adding to the deficit.
Yeah.
And the government doesn't get enough. Well, the politicians, like a former Speaker of the House who's worth over $100 million on a $174,000 to $200,000 a year salary, And over 40 years, being a drunk old hag, you can make $100 million, and there's nothing to see here. This just doesn't add up, and people are asleep, and all of us who are awake are conspiracy theorists. And
Do you
people will
find that
go.
there's more people waking up and looking and searching for the truth? I find that. People are like, Pat, what were you
I-
talking about with that? So it's kind of like, oh, wow, they're actually waking up.
Yeah, and it's a shame that it's taken so long.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to ask yourself, how does an American president, Biden, own property in the Ukraine? Along with Obama, Bush, I think, what's that guy's name? Romney, Pelosi, the bunch of the
Usual
the
suspects.
the usual suspects. I'm not exactly sure of the names, but this is my opinion. But I know Obama and Bush and Clinton and Biden have definitely been named as property owners in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Now, most Americans don't know where Ukraine is or really care. But we're sending billions of dollars and not spending any money on cleaning up our own environment, getting the terrible additives out of our food, throwing the child traffickers in jail. And what was in these places that, the Biden thing, they had tunnels underneath his property where they were torturing kids and turning them into adrenochrome and organs for transplants, and adrenocride, which is even stranger. It's tortured teenagers. And then you have weapons like COVID, the bioweapons being built in these places, funded by U.S. taxpayer money, collected by the IRS, sent all over the world by the Federal Reserve banks, and then we owe money on this money they're spending like this?
Now let's watch a video explaining exactly how we got here.
The American dream. There's a reason they call it a dream. Who's there? Cock-a-doodle-doo, pal. No, 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 no! I don't have any more money! My job sucks right now, please! I'll have more money next month! You can't take my house!
Is that your signature?
Oh, okay, well, just help me work something out, okay? I mean, you said I'm a good credit guy, right? I mean, hey, wait! My dog is in there! No, don't take my dream! Oh, how did this happen? Hardman? Is that you?
It's been a long time since the 4th grade.
Is that a time machine?
There's no need to concern yourself with my stunning accomplishments. Best get in. There's not much time.
I gotta go down to the bank and get my life back. They took everything!
Oh, bank ain't gonna help you now. Towel in the trunk. Extra set of balls. Put them on. You're gonna need them.
You're gonna get my dream back?
No, pal. You are. I'm here to show you how.
submitted for your approval. 1. First National Bank. What is a bank, you ask? A curious place where both space, time, and irony exist. And yet, don't. You gonna be doing that the whole time? Pay attention, pile. Exhibit A. Those who have come to deposit and safely store their earned monies. Exhibit B. Those who need to borrow said money for purposes unknown. Hey! That's me! Ergo, Exhibit C. The bank only has so much money in the vault to lend out to people such as you. Hey, that's the guy! He took my house!
Really screwing my vibe here, pal. Space-time continuum. He can't hear you. Just let me narrate. Now, where was I?
So you see, by the time he got to you, Pile, his bank was out of money.
But he gave me lots of money and charged me a lot of interest.
Yes, that's the only way banks make money, by making debt loans. Debt equals money, Pile. Remember that. Debt equals money. The more loans they make, the more money they make.
But if they don't have any money, then where did my money come from?
You're gonna want to take a step back, Pile.
Whoa! No way!
Yes way. And that's nothing.
Hey, buddy, need some money? They didn't do that.
Oh, they did exactly that, pal. Remember, banks make money by making loans, by selling debt, even to bad credit risks.
Yo, have some money, dude. Just sign here. Oh my gosh!
They called it free money.
Yeah, that's exactly what my loan guy told me. Free money.
But it ain't free. The worst part was offering money to people who don't even need it. People, pal, like you.
You're right. I didn't need him. I was happy here. I didn't need it. Why's he sad? He's making all that money.
Shh. He's thinking. Now wait for it. Now wait for it. Bingo. See, the bankers loan to everyone in town. But to make more money, they have to loan even more.
More? How much money do they need?
More.
Ah, what's that?
Behold, a black horse riding. Credit card.
Wow, look. I mean, it's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. What now?
Now, with power with all this money, we might as well party.
Oh, this is awesome! I needed to get my head clear. When I get back, I'm gonna straighten all this out. I just hope Dream is doing okay.
I'm going to get you, my pretty.
Yep, he is. I'm sure he is.
There, you put it on his tab. Little something for yourself. Wait.
You know, wait a second, Harmon. I just thought of something. If I got this money from the bank, and the bank got it from the Federal Reserve dump trucks,
Go on.
then where does the Federal Reserve get their money?
Real nice time, ladies. Real nice. Now, excuse me while I borrow these.
Say, Hartman, why am I wearing a burglar bikini top?
Because no one is allowed inside the Fed. Not you, not me, no American citizen, no duly elected member of our Congress, not the Supreme Court.
Not the Supreme Court?
Not the Supreme Court, not the Justice Department, not the CIA, DIA, FBI, ATF, ETE, NBC, not even G.O.D.
How come the government isn't allowed inside its own building?
Government? Pa, the Fed is a private bank owned by private stockholders. Do not let the name Federal fool you. This place is about as federal as Federal Express.
A private bank? But private?
Shh. Best to keep your voice down, pal.
This is Ethan, Federal Reserve.
Hey, Eth, Bill here, First National.
Hi there, Bill. How are you?
Good, good. We're running a little low on money.
No problem. How much you need?
Oh, how does 20 million sound? What?
Excellent. We'll ship it over first thing tomorrow.
Wait, he can just call up the Fed and ask for more money and they give him whatever they want?
No, pal. The Fed don't give the banks money. The Fed loans the banks money. The banks have to pay it back with interest. Now, come on, time to go.
Wait. I still don't understand. Where does the Fed get their money? I mean, if they're a private bank. You said they're a private bank, right? Okay, so who puts money into the Fed bank?
This is Mel, United States Mint.
Hi, ML. First National needs another 20 millis.
We're already running the presses full steam here, Ethan.
Gotta keep making loans. Gotta keep the money flowing.
All right, you're the Fed. Whatever you guys say. 20 million more by morning.
But I don't get it. What's so wrong about the Fed printing money?
Because it's unconstitutional, pal. Our Treasury is supposed to create our money, but now the Fed controls the printing of America's money. Nobody gets a friggin' dollar that the Fed didn't print.
So?
They print the money, then they loan it to the government, then they charge the government interest, then the government taxes you to pay for it. Wake up, pal!
God, I don't see what the big deal is.
You know, you're right, pal.
Wait a minute. Wait, I am?
Yeah. I forget how effective they are at keeping you ignorant.
Well, that's okay. Hey, I'm not ignorant.
Do you even know what money is, pal? In the long, long ago, people bartered. They traded things they had for things they wanted. I'll trade you my raspberries for that there pot pie.
I don't want your berries.
Come on, pal, they're sweet berries.
They're not sweet. They're old, and I don't like berries.
Give me that pot pie!
No.
As you can see, this bartering situation created some problems. Then one day, a goldsmith walked up and said,
Now, everybody thinks gold is valuable, so why doesn't everybody trade gold for things they need?
a price was set for gold, and now it was very easy to conduct commerce because people could trade gold for all the things they needed.
Hartman! Wow, look at all my gold! Hey, stop them! That's my gold!
Damn thieves!
Say there, Pyle. I've got a vault and some guards. I can keep your gold safe for you for a small fee. Yeah, sure, that'd be awesome.
You see, Pyle, this is how the first bank made money.
There you go, Pyle. I owe you 100 gold coins. Okay, great. Come back anytime and redeem your gold when you want it. It'll be right here in my vault.
Now you're holding the very first paper money, Pyle.
Wow, this is great. It all makes sense.
Oh, that's right. It was good, and everybody started using IOUs because everybody knew the IOU was as good as gold.
Wow, this candy is really a good price. 1 IOU. I'm getting some more for later. Hey, wait a minute. It was just 1 IOU. 10 IOUs for chocolate? You can't just raise prices like that.
Oh, the Candyman can.
Oh, the Candyman can. Wait, that is just frickin' wrong.
It's called inflation, Pyle. It makes your IOUs worth less and less until they are worth nothing. Less bang for the buck. Dollar ain't what it used to be.
But I worked hard and I baked all those pot pies. Now I have to work harder to make less? That's not fair.
Oh, if you think that's not fair, you're gonna love the next part.
What's he doing?
How do banks make money, Pyle?
By making more loans?
Oh, that's right. He's good. See, he prints more IOUs without any more gold, loans them out for interest, makes a pretty penny, and nobody is the wiser. Unless everybody wanted their gold back at the same time.
No. That's my gold.
Not anymore.
What are you talking about?
I'd like to redeem my IOUs, please. Thank you very much.
Hey! I want my gold back now! Thief!
Gotta love the bank run, bringing people together. See, they all found out he was stealing, made a run on the bank, and demanded their gold. But as you can see, there ain't no gold to get.
Hardman!
Don't worry, pal. Back in these times, vengeance will be yours. 3 things in this world you don't do. Never mess with another man's woman. Never mess with another man's ego. And most importantly, you never mess with another man's money. Else, a man will mess with you.
My God! You hung him?
Yes, pal. Oh, we hung him. We hung him high. And do you know why?
Well, because he was a thief?
Because, pal, an evil invention was born. Man discovered how to turn worthless paper into gold. Thus was invented the ultimate machine to steal real money and enslave all the nations on Earth.
It's alive! Oh, now come on. You're just being dramatic. I mean, I lost my house, but...
What is that? Explain.
A nuclear power plant?
Produces lots of electricity and little pollution. An invention for the good of humanity.
Okay, but what's this have to do with...
3, 2... Holy atomic energy! A discovery more powerful than anything man had yet conceived. It can be used for good or evil. Now, unlike Einstein, the goldsmith's discovery has been kept a closely guarded secret. It was never intended for you to see. This discovery is called fractional reserve banking. In the wrong hands, it's more powerful than the nuclear bomb in its ability to completely and utterly destroy a nation who is subjected to its perversion. No, 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 no. It is time we stop this evil secret and the men behind it. You're being ridiculous. Before America is destroyed forever. Believe it, Pop.
No, 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 no. I just want my dog back.
Damn it. That's it. I give up. Let them live in chains. No, Hardman. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Thomas Jefferson? Mr. President, how do I get him to understand? As we did, son, remain vigilant. Too many have hidden the truth, and the light of our liberty dims with every passing day. Quickly, take my horse. Show him.
Wait, show me what? Where are we going?
Stallion of Liberty! Brought on the hoary wind!
Oh, where are we?
Battle of Waterloo! Hold on, we gotta get through! A money machine! There it is!
Hey, is that the same people?
Rich bankermen from Germany flying under the banner of the Red Shield. They finance both sides of the war. We must hurry! That's him, the Red Shield courier! Shoot him!
No, I'm not shooting anyone.
Damn it, Pop.
What?
He beat everyone back with the news of the war and told England that Napoleon won. The Red Shield bankers in London pretended that England was doomed and started selling their English stocks. The English went into a selling frenzy to get rid of worthless English money.
But the English won, right?
Of course they won, but it was a trick by Red Shield. They waited until the stocks plummeted to pennies and then bought England back for nearly nothing.
What? Did it bad? How?
When the English leaders found out, they had no choice but to give themselves over to the Red Shield. Their money was gone, and they were slaves to the Red Shield war debt. Since that time, the English have been paying their national taxes directly to the Red Shield private bankers. The people have no idea. But the bankers bragged about what they did to us, laughing at us all the way to the bank.
Why, it's the best business I've ever done. If I can control a nation's wealth, I care not who makes its laws.
Oh, is this what Jefferson wanted to show me?
No, pal. Look.
They're in America, too?
The Red Shield banks are here, pal. Seeking a way to conquer our American dream. The dream you have, pal. The dream of free men. They tried to take over our country many times and failed because Jefferson and the Patriots vowed to stop the evil tyrants at all costs. By authority of eternal God, he would not let the bankers win here. To preserve our independence, we must not let our rulers load us with perpetual debt. We must make our choice between economy and liberty or profusion and servitude.
Wow.
I place economy among the first and most important of Republican virtues, and public debt is the greatest of the dangers to be feared.
It is incumbent on every generation to pay its own debts as it goes.
We must have a central bank to secure this country's finances.
If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their money, first by inflation and then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of their property until their children will wake up homeless on the very continent their fathers conquered.
Jefferson, you're mad. This country will have a central bank.
Who's that? America's first Secretary of Treasury. Alexander Hamilton?
Not for long.
Aaron Burr.
Thomas Jefferson's vice president. They didn't take too kindly to our first Sec Treasury. Sweet shot, Burr.
The first attempt at a central bank only lasted 20 years and we shut it down. But the bankers tried again against Old Hickory, President Andrew Jackson.
You are a den of vipers and thieves. I intend to rout you out, and by the eternal God, I will rout you out.
After surviving an assassination attempt, Jackson finally defeated the bank in 1836. When asked what was the greatest accomplishment in his life, Old Hickory replied,
I killed the bank.
and those were his last words. I killed the bank. And with real money backed with real gold, our country experienced the greatest boom in any nation's history. Oh, it was beautiful, pal. But the bankers, greedy for more power and wealth, were concocting their most ambitious plan yet to once and for all take control of the finances of the United States. In 1910, a secret meeting was held at a J.P. Morgan estate on Jekyll Island off the coast of Georgia. This meeting was so secretive, so concealed from government and public knowledge that the 10 attendees used code names.
I am clearly the richest man, so I should be the one to run the super-secret central bank. I own all the oil in America. I'm clearly richer than you will ever be, hula girl. I should run the super-secret central bank. You're nothing compared to me, lube job. I shall run the secret bank.
Silence!
Supreme Master Leader, I didn't know you were gonna be here.
I'm not. Neither are you, dumbass.
Oh, yeah, right. He's so smart.
None of you shall run the bank. We have failed in the past because of openness. This time, the key to success is secrecy. The people must believe that they run the bank.
Yes, brilliant! A sneak attack. What's the plan?
We first create panic, then we show them the solution. With our man in office and well-planned timing, we will have our central bank. And so the people think it is theirs. We shall christen it Federal. The Federal Reserve.
They struck on December 23rd, 1913. When most of our Congress were at home eating fruitcake, these bastards, I mean bankers, presented their treasonous act to their newly elected accomplice, Woodrow Wilson, who had fortuitously already agreed to sign it before he was even elected. Wait, the IRS? I thought we always had the IRS. No, pal. They did this to us too. The Fed now has the exclusive power to print America's money. They loan this money to our banks and our government at interest, putting immediate debt on our own money, printing more and more, so each dollar they print becomes worth less than the one before. Merry Christmas. What in the hell is that? That, pal, is how our government now must pay back these debts to the Fed. Your taxes do not go to your government. They don't? It's the greatest theft in human history. But, okay, I mean, I sort of get what you're saying, but it's also confusing. And really, Hartman, I don't see how it affects me at all. If I had more money, none of this would have happened. Hartman? 1955? Wow, what are we doing here? Oh, a little bit of shopping. Here, hold this. Gallon of gas, 23 cents. Postage stamp, 3 cents.
Ounce of gold, $35. Hot baby. Priceless. Best be getting back.
Hey, Hartman! I need my car, man!
Oh, was that Michael J?
Yeah, he'll be fine. Now, pal, would you agree that you have the same exact things you had in 1955?
Yeah, 1 stamp, 1 gallon of gas, 1 ounce of gold, and 1 home. Wow, we just made a lot of money.
Gotta pay your taxes. Bet it's nice to have made all that money.
Wait, that isn't fair. Now I actually have less money. I can't even go buy the things I just sold.
The IRS and the Fed's inflation work together, pal. They aren't just taxing gain, they are taxing their inflation. You are no richer than you were in 1955. Now, does that sound fair or American to you?
Yeah, but I mean, who doesn't hate taxes? I hate the IRS anyway.
Pal, the higher they make the inflation, the more your money they take. It's thievery. You're not paying taxes on any more. You are paying taxes on the same. And now, you have less. They take our property away right in front of our eyes, just like Thomas Jefferson said they would.
What's that?
Oh, they found us! Quick, my sword!
What sword?
We don't need your banking machine! I'll condemn you to die, damn it! Die! Pile! The Yankee bogey on my 9! Take him at his knees!
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence.
What's happening? Where am I?
I believe perhaps you understand now, pal, but you are afraid.
JFK. Hartman, what does this have to do with my house and my dog? Oh, okay, that's enough. I want to go home now.
This is the last president to stand up to the Fed. You must see. On June 4, 1963, President Kennedy signed Executive Order 11110. This executive order empowered the U.S. Treasury to issue real money without the Fed. It would have worked. Kennedy's plan to dismantle the Federal Reserve machine had begun. 6 months later, John F. Kennedy went to Dallas and never returned.
No way. No way they could do that.
The new president, Lyndon Johnson, threw out Kennedy's order. And since JFK, no president has dared confront the secret powers behind the Federal Reserve. They consolidate bigger and bigger banks, print more and more money, accountable to no one, decimating our nation's wealth for the benefit of a few.
Why? Why do this? If they hurt us, it hurts the global bankers too.
No, pal. They are protected. They are too big to fail.
But I'm not.
Those sons of bitches! Sons of bitches all. The day was cold. The wind sharp and strong. But we were determined. The bankers and their parasites had us vastly outnumbered, but their hubris made them weak. Not like us. Not like this band of immortals we have assembled. We have come to take back our...
Hardman? Is that...
my dog.
Oh,
Then the inevitable. The money kings could ignore us no longer. They sent an emissary, a cog in their machine of greed to bring about our submission. Hank Paulson.
Hardman, this is blasphemy. We own the corners of the earth. It is futile to challenge us.
Oh, I've seen that look before. That of a predator taking in the scent of its prey. Bold, fearless, the look of a free man.
You have come far, Hardman. Farther than most. Be smart now. Join us. We will bring you money, power, everything you want. You can be one of us. if you will kneel. Madman. You're a madman. We're offering you everything. What do you think this is? This is America!
So that's part of our history, right? And I feel that when artists do that and they use illustration, it kind of helps us see visually what's going on. So I think that that was a good way of showing people. So you want to talk about any of that, Jim?
Yeah, I do. And I'd like to also give a short one on how the Federal Reserve System works. People don't understand what happens when they put their money in the bank. The fractional banking system says that the bank needs to keep a certain small percentage of money on hand in the bank. And most of the money in the bank are digits in an account. And if the bank needs to get a loan from money, it gets it from the Federal Reserve banks. And the Federal Reserve banks charge these commercial banks interest. That's the interest rate that the Fed has. And any money that the banks lend has to be higher than the Federal Reserve rate because they have to pay back the Federal Reserve plus make a profit to stay in business. So if you put in $100 into a bank, they'll lend out $90 and they'll keep 10. And as soon as someone takes that $90, they'll lend 81 of those dollars out and keep 9. And it gets all the way to the point where that $100 creates $500 worth of money. Commercial banks create money by charging interest. And when they collect that interest, money grows. The Federal Reserve Bank monitors that, and they call that the money supply. And they have different policies and different interest rates so that they can control the amount of money. And when you control the amount of money, you also control the cost of money, which is the interest rate. Well, when you look at how much control that is over the economy, that's a lot more control than our politicians have. And then you add in the suggested tax rate. So we make a paycheck and we pay taxes to the federal government. We pay Social Security tax. And because we have cars and homes, we pay basically another form of tax called interest to the banking system for the home and the cars that we have. Well, when you look at it that way, we've paid a lot of money for subsistence, no more than subsistence. We need cars in this society. We need a place to live in this society. Well, based on the availability of money, the farmers grow crops and they have to take loans in order to put something in the field, and they have to recoup money. In the truck that haul it to the processing plants, they need to make money. Everybody needs to make a profit to stay in business. So we have kind of an expensive, very controlled model that all structures around the money supply and the interest rate. With, if you make, and anytime you make a profit, you lose some of that to the tax system. That's a pretty tough matrix when you think of it. That's how much our money's devalued.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't buy a beautiful home now for $20,000 in the suburbs like my parents did when I was a kid. Well, the monthly payment on $20,000 and the monthly payment on $500,000 are substantially different. And but the $20,000 then is worth about $500,000 now.
Right.
So when someone tells me that, oh, I live in $1 million home, I'm thinking, well, you just live in the kind of home I grew up in.
Right.
It cost my parents about $20,000, and I'm basically right.
Yeah.
And you know, and who's getting all that money from us? The banking system, and they have us in a matrix, and they have us controlled. And the global currency reset and getting the Federal Reserve private bank and the IRS enforcement arm of this private banking system will really free up the American people to be more creative and less in a debt spiral that nobody can get out of. The only way you can get out of this debt spiral is go to heaven.
Well, they make
And
you
that's
jump
what-
through hoops for things, and it's like your whole life is numbers, right? And they monitor everything, and then if you fall behind just once, you're screwed for life. You're screwed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you wind up going into that system instead of the sixth system. I call it the vacuum of suck. That's what I call it.
Banking systems is a matrix, and they take your money and create money with it, and they charge you anytime you use this created money a great deal of money, and it pays all the way up to the Federal Reserve banks who take their cut. And when they control the money supply, they control how much you're paying for the money that you deposit or someone else deposited so that you can take a loan. And in the old Bible days, they would call this usury. And in the old Bible days, you'll say, well, you know, and the Bible tells us we should tithe. Yes. The tithing, the 10%, went for running the government and the church combined. How much better would we all be off if the government and the churches combined only took 10%, and we got the other 90%? And you'll say, well, Social Security is really a good deal. Well, Social Security, which is collected by the IRS, really, and given to the Social Security system, did a little composite test of 20,000 people in Galveston. And instead of investing in Social Security, these 20,000 people were allowed to put the money in a series of mutual funds. And they were all allowed to retire at age 65, and they all agreed to it. And after that, the one that did the worst had $10 million. Well, at 5% a year, $10 million is $500,000 a year to live on. There's not a Social Security beneficiary that's getting anything
Well, that's
close
the
to
trick,
that.
right? They make you feel like you have to be dependent on this. And I've been in the network marketing industry for a long time, and I can't tell you how many people I've come across who say, I really want to do this, but I'm going to lose my benefits. I said, well, I understand that. I'm not saying to, lose everything, but what if you can get into a situation where you don't have to rely on that anymore and you can move past what they're giving you? And then it opens up a light bulb in their head and they're like, wait a second, I could do this. And I'm like, yeah, because we've just become so dependent on their systems, all of them, all their systems. And we, the people, have to stand up and say, you know what, this isn't working. This isn't working out in our favor. You guys are not, I mean, this is not the first time we kicked the central banks out of our country. So I think that there's enough people that are awake. I think we have enough backing now. I think that we have enough protection now that this is going to be the last of it. I'm praying that this is the last, that they have the control over our entire lives.
But because I worked hard, I deserve a lesser percentage than someone who wasn't as successful. That's a pretty messed up system.
Yeah.
And it's not just about me. It's about everybody else that did this too.
I didn't know that that was happening.
Well, that's how they pay Social Security. So in other words, they have.
I know it's
people
not a
who-
lot for a lot of people, and that's all that they get to live off of. And I'm like, how can you?
I have some friends that I send some money to that only get $800 a month.
So sad. You live your whole life, you work your whole life, and then they tell you, okay, now you're going to live off of 40% of your earnings. It's like you could barely make it by at 100%.
Yeah, and
How do they expect people to live like this? It's just so sad.
well, they hope they don't.
Right.
They want people to die early. They don't want wise grandfathers and grandmothers teaching children. Because grandmothers and grandfathers teach children wisdom. And it really helps cement the love of a family. And this is all about getting the mothers and fathers away from their kids, getting control of the kids, and keeping the grandparents out of the picture. And they're using the banking system and the tax system to do it. And because people would never think of these evil bastards doing it this way, they don't see it. And I do mean evil bastards. And I know that's colorful language from someone who's supposedly of the cloth, but my Jesus did throw the money changers out of the temple.
Yeah. But what about they used to get rid of all of the debt?
Every 50 years there's a jubilee. And the jubilee lasted a year, and all property was restored, and all debt was restored, and all freedom was restored. Great system. Our country could, and the whole world could use a good jubilee.
It wouldn't have been generational poverty.
No. And, if some bad stuff happened, it's not a death sentence for all your descendants.
Right.
Everybody gets a fresh start. Now imagine if people could actually keep their family farms and they could actually have healthy seeds to grow. And you see things like this and you say, well, we need freedom from this crap so that we can actually eat healthy, be healthy, live healthy. But we have the control of this economic system that was forced on us by some really bad people who own these 12 banks that dictate how the American people and the people throughout the world are going to live. They dictate how, if I want to buy a British pound, they dictate what the price of that pound is for me. So they control international trade by dictating what the price is for some other foreign currency. And But we're not going to be strong with garbage food. We're not going to be able to be strong with good food as long as this banking system has and this tax system has is so broke that we have to buy bullshit from
Processed food,
processed food that is done
poison.
poisoned the living hell out of us and have us all running to the doctors who give us more chemicals from these big pharma people who work for the bankers, because we all work for the bankers, who want to make sure that we stay sick and controlled. So until we get rid of this terrible banking system, we are not going to be free people, no matter what the news tells us that we're free or not. You're not free when you're in debt. You're not free when you're trying to figure out whether you can eat food, pay the mortgage, or buy medicine or something or clothing for your loved ones. Everybody, and almost all the American people are in this bind of having to make hard choices and run up their debt because the value of the money is crap. And these rich bastards that are running the money system are so rich it's disgusting, but they're inside, they're broke. They do terrible things to kids, and they're doing terrible things to all of us with this usury and this terrible fractional banking system, where if they want money, they create it, but you can't create it. But every time they create it, the value of what you have in your pocket is less. And every year our money's going down about 10%. And if you understand the rule of 72 and the rule of 78, you understand how much we're getting robbed. And you take 78 and the percentage rate, and that's how much your money is devaluing. And I know for some people this sounds like conspiracy, but it's all controlled by the bankers. The bankers are telling people what they can do and what they can't do by their monetary policy and how much they loan and don't loan and what they charge for loans. And if you can understand this, you understand that this is the system that we're in. And this is the system that needs to go away. If you're poor, you're never going to be rich in America, because the banking system doesn't want you to be rich unless you're one of the chosen. And it's the banking system that controls us. And we have to get out of this banking system.
Yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, we see it in our lifetime. Because
yeah, I'd love to see a jubilee.
this is just something's broke. Something's definitely broken.
In the early 60s, President Kennedy, because he understood how terrible this fractional banking system was, initiated silver certificates for money. And it was a type of bill that looked a lot like the US dollar, but it was a silver certificate, and the bearer could ask for that much in silver at any time. And it was real money.
God's money.
And the value of silver used to be $1 an ounce. And the value of gold back then was $35 an ounce. And they actually had silver in the quarters. A quarter had a quarter ounce of silver. A dime had 1/10 of an ounce of silver. A $50 had half an ounce of silver until 1964. President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963. And President Kennedy understood that real money gave the American people real buying power and freedom. And there are places that you can purchase silver, and Kat can tell you more about a wonderful place to purchase it. I'm not giving any investment advice.
Yeah, it hasn't lost value. So it's not like you're going to lose anything. And I figured I'd rather have it, in something tangible than be in the bank. And it was a scary thing because, yeah, it's all that conditioning, it's all that mindset around it. And is it safe? But having it in your hand, all you have to do is melt it down and you get what it was worth, so there's no loss there.
No.
And if we're wrong, we're wrong, but if we're right, then, we tried to tell you yet again, something we've tried to tell you about. But it's just funny because I always feel like I'm always, somehow I get blessed and I always get put ahead of the curve. Right. So I got put ahead of the curve with CBD. Now you see it everywhere. I was talking about it. We started the CBD revolution here on Long Island. It was just, we helped so many people get off those meds, and then the next thing was, the silver and gold. And I'm like, guys, there's commercials for it now. Do you not see the same trend? Like it's up. They're trying to help you get ahead a little bit and people just won't see it. But one of the things I wanted to offer if anyone wants to talk, we do have a way where you can get it fractionally. So say you're like, I only have a certain amount and you don't have enough to buy a full ounce. You can get it fractionally until you get, it's almost like a little mini savings account, and then they'll ship it to you. And like I said, I'm the firm believer of it's not yours unless it's in your hands. So yes, there are vaults. Yes, there are ways. But I had a friend. She's like, oh, yeah, I have some stuff. I go, where is it? She goes, well, here's my certificate and it's in another country. And so you better cash that in. This was years ago. This was like 2021. I'm telling her, I'm like, you better go cash that in before everybody's trying to cash it at the same time as you. She never did. She just trusts. And I'm like, and this is that old programming, that old conditioning where we just trust. So sometimes you have to just sit quiet with yourself, listen to your inner knowing. And if something feels right, then go with it. If it doesn't, then it's not for you. But we do have a different way and we have a way to help. And we're just giving solutions for the problems that we're seeing. So that's all I have to say about that. So thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate
I have
all
one
your
thing to add
insight.
to it.
Yes, go ahead.
Remember the movie It's a Wonderful Life? There was a run on the bank.
That's right.
Like a run out that'll happen on silver. And there was this man, Mr. Potter, who was willing to give you 50 cents on the dollar. And there were people taking it because they figured that Potter had it and the other guy would never have it. That's ETFs.
Yeah.
You might not even get 10%, and the people who take that and get 10% will do better than the people who just have the ETF and no silver. So get possession of it.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I just wanted to say thank you again to Jim for your wonderful insight, and I'm just so blessed to be able to do this and bring solutions to people. So thank you. And thank you to our mods, and thank you to Dave and Mark for this beautiful platform. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Sounds good, Ted. Bye, and God bless everyone.
God bless. Much love, everyone.
Let's go. The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate and segregate, don't celebrate quite yet. The storm is coming, cue for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country. And our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on the streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, chosen just neglected, deflected by some breaking news. Oh, we just accepted, expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objectives, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Nah, drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
Oh, one day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. Oh, we need you now. One day. The truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.